let it go. So even though it's been a really long time since the movie came out, people were asking me about my opinions on Frozen. So I thought I would just do a quick little video talking about my thoughts on the film. Mind you, I've only seen the movie once, and therefore my opinions on the movie could change once I see it a few more times. That's certainly what happened with Tangled. I started off really liking it and then eventually coming to really dislike it. But here's what I think about it if you asked me today. So, story-wise, I think the story was very weak. I think that it's probably the weakest thing about the film. There are a lot of questions that the movie just doesn't bother to answer or kind of elaborate on, like how Elsa got her powers, for example, because it doesn't seem like anyone else in her family has them. You know, how a country can not have a ruler for 3 years and still function, because if Elsa wasn't queen, then who was running the kingdom? Did they just let them run as princesses? If they just let them run as princesses, why do they have to wait to coronate her until then? And how does someone rule from complete and total isolation at that point, especially when they trade? That's not very convenient. You know, what exactly was the relationship between Elsa and Anna when their parents died? I mean, she couldn't have stayed in her room the entire time, yet that's the impression they want to give you. And I just kind of found myself, like, afterwards, like, thinking to myself, so, like, after their parents died, did they just stay in separate rooms? They, like, when they attended the funeral, Elsa just kind of sat in her room and, like, watched from a distance, like some royal people do, because they're not allowed to attend funerals. But it seemed very strange to me. And also with Elsa's powers, how does wind and ice, snow powers and wind powers give you the power to make life? Because, you know, it's one thing to, like, make the snow castle and 10 snow powers and whatever, but to have Olaf be alive and walk and talk, that's a totally different kind of magic on top of it. So I was kind of curious exactly how her powers work. Are there limits to her powers? Because right now it seems kind of limitless, but I'm also, you know, an RPG nerd, so I'm also thinking about, like, you know, how much PP is she going to be using for this? You know, does she need to, you know, get some ethers up in her life? Those are the things I wonder. And also, just a lot of it seemed very rushed, even though it's a decently length movie, but a lot of it just seemed kind of rushed and, like, not really thought out to a certain way. I feel like while there was no villain, and I don't have a problem with there not being a villain, there also seemed to be no real urgency. Like, even though people were frozen and it was ice, you had to get back soon, there was really no sense of time. I'm just like, so it doesn't really seem like everything was happening so fast that I really couldn't really get a grasp of how bad things were getting. Just that it's just cold, you know, really, really cold, and, like, the cold, when Elsa came back, it just seemed to get in worse. So that was kind of just really kind of frucky for me. It didn't bother me when I was watching the movie, that I will say. When I was watching the movie, I was engaged in it because of other aspects of it, but when I got out, I was kind of thinking about these things afterwards. So I just have issues with the story. I think it could be a lot better, personally. Character-wise, however, I loved it. Like, that was my favorite part of the movie, were the characters. I think Anna is cute. I think she's adorable. I think that, you know, she is very much the new age post Princess and the Frog, DreamWorks-y kind of princess. Very modern age, you know. She's more, you know, clumsy, because, you know, that's the quirkiness of her character and things like that. I found her to be very adorable. I overall really enjoyed her. I thought she was cute. I thought that, you know, her little interactions, the way she kind of did stuff, you know, to me she just seemed like, you know, she was pretty normal, like, in a Disney way, and I did certainly enjoy what she brought to the story. Elsa was great. I feel like the movie had just too little Elsa. There's so many interesting things about her because the way her character is written, there are so many undertones like depression and anxiety. People have talked about other things that she could be representing in the movie, but I feel like overall just her story is the story that I was really engaged in. Not that I didn't like Anna, because I did. I think she's very cute, but I felt like when people kept talking about how, you know, new and fresh that that Frozen was, I kept thinking that, oh, we're gonna get a lot of time with this character, but we really didn't. And to be quite honest, Let Go, and I'll talk about the songs in a second, was the song that made me want to go see this movie. So I was really looking forward to her the most. And since we didn't get a lot of her, I was kind of sad about it. But I really did love Elsa a lot. Olaf was also really cute. I really liked Olaf. I thought I was gonna hate him, but he was very likable, and I felt like he was a really good combination of the Ray character from Prince and the Frog. He was a really good combination of that character and also the character Maximus from Tangled. I know that the Sven was like the moose reindeer that was trying to act like a dog character. He was cute too. I like Kristoff. I think that he was unnecessary overall because, you know, they could have just had her do this by herself, but, you know, got the love interest there somewhere. And he wasn't really necessary to the movie, but I actually like his design. I think he's much better looking than Flynn. I've never gotten why everyone thought that Flynn Rider, or Eugene, whatever you want to call him, from Tangled was like a babe, because he's really not that cute. But Kristoff was definitely adorable. He's like this big, kind of burly dude, and his nose and his hair. I thought he was cute. Kristoff was cute and charming. I'm sad they didn't get to make him sing anymore. I mean, you get Jonathan Groff, and I'm like, he's not gonna sing at all? Okay. Except for, you know, reindeers are better than people, which was a cute little ditty. Hans was, I mean, he was what he was. He was voiced by Wash, which makes him superior to a lot of other people. I like that his character was very Gaston-like. And I feel like Disney always needed more villains that could be, you know, needed more characters that were like Gaston, because it's always more interesting to have a character who is, you know, looks one thing and people love him but actually hidden darkness. So that was very interesting. So I liked the characters except the parents. The parents were freaking idiots. Oh, we're gonna lie to our children, hide her away. That will definitely make things better. Idiots. That never works. It never works when you just be like, I'm just gonna hide my children away and never tell them anything. What could go wrong? Oh, we're dead. I didn't care when they died. I'm like, y'all dumb, you shouldn't have done what you did. The songs I know have always been a point of contention for people, but personally for me, I think the songs in this movie are 10 times better than the songs in Tangled. I think the Tangled soundtrack is mostly garbage. So for me, the songs in this movie were better. Yeah, there were some awkward bits. I found like there were some lines in the first time for the first time where Ida's voice and Kristen Wiig's voice don't really mesh well together, because they don't really sing at the same force, so it just didn't work out for me. But I still prefer the songs. I feel like Do You Want to Build a Snowman is an adorable song. Snowman in Summer was cute. Let Go, of course, was like, you know, that's gonna be an Oscar winner probably. The only song I absolutely despise was the troll songs, and you see I didn't even mention them in the character section because I don't see them as characters. They're just things that were brought in there for stupid purposes. I don't care for them, and I'm not afraid they exist. Okay, bye. So yeah, I really enjoyed this music in Tangled. I think that even the first song, Frozen Heart, it's just a really good beat. For a second I was like, what's going on? This is nice. I like these drums. It's working for me. It's supposed to be, I think it's I believe it said Sumi song, but of course there were no Sumi people doing it, because, you know, gotta suck at diversity, Disney, gotta suck at it. But yeah, I really like the music. So overall, you know, we get another monochromatic, miscellaneous white kingdom somewhere in the land of somewhat, and it's disappointing as usual. It was funny to me how people were like, well, there's a black lady in the background. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I think it'd be less aggravating if people just wouldn't make that a defense. Like, why can't it just be like, oh, but they put a person in the background? Are we supposed to be happy about that? Like, is that really what you're gonna say, guys? Oh, we got a little background action. Thanks. But I think for me, I don't think that Frozen is amazing. I don't think, like, everyone was like, it's the best movie since The Lion King. I'm like, I'm sorry. One, you didn't have no Mufasa death. If you don't have any Mufasa death where I'm sitting there like, you ain't come near. You ain't even come close. So stop saying Lion King. Stop. Lion King, stay out your mouth. Just stop bringing it up. Stop bringing it in here because you're not doing it well. Not doing it right. Stop. Keep it out your mouth. I don't think it, so it's not like that. It's definitely not, to me, an amazing, spectacular movie. But I definitely like this more than Tangled. And to a degree, I think I even like this more than Brave. I think that the sisterly aspect of it was really fun for me. People have been calling it refreshing, that it's never been done before. And I'm just kind of like, so no one saw Lilo and Stitch? Because they totally did it. And it's an amazing movie, and you should probably watch it. So I really enjoyed that idea of it, and just how they managed to do the true love thing. I mean, I knew that was gonna happen because it's kind of obvious, but I liked it nonetheless. Nothing wrong with obvious as long as it works. So that was fine with me. But my two biggest issues that I have with Frozen, besides the racial issue, which I think pretty much goes without saying, they're having a woman of color protagonist next movie. Honestly, I'm gonna say it now, I doubt that movie will make as much money as Tangled will. I mean, not Tangled, as Frozen did. That's just what I think. If I'm proven wrong, I'll be super happy, and I'll be like, ha, I was wrong, shut up, Melina, you don't have shit. But I don't think it'll make as much money as this, and I think history has proven that the chances of me being right are really good. And anyway, beyond that, my two biggest disappointments were, one, Elsa post Let Go. Let Go, I know that song changed Let It Go. That it changed the writer's idea from turning Elsa into, because originally supposed to be the villain, but then she turned out to just be another protagonist. And while I have no problem with her being a secondary protagonist, Let Go implies a level of confidence and sort of blaseness that she never really shows past this point. Because she basically let the storm rage on and all that kind of stuff, but then she just comes and she's like, oh, it's cold. She's like, oh, she's freaking out. And like I said, it's not a bad thing. I think it's interesting that she does it, and I think, like I said, the stuff about depression and anxiety are really interesting. But story-wise, it sets her up to be a certain way and to have a certain different demeanor, but she never really has that until the end of the movie. So it's kind of a thing for me, like, you have this epic number that's supposed to be like, you know, it changes the turn of the story, but it doesn't. It's just really, really nice looking and epic. But to me, Disney songs are supposed to also be story movers. They're supposed to push something forward. And it didn't really push anything forward. It just, you know, was a really beautifully done sequence. And then the other thing, my biggest issue, is that this is based on the Snow Queen. And this is all they did with it. The Snow Queen is an excellent story. It's a really interesting, wonderful fairy tale. And you really didn't use any of it. I don't see why you had to even do anything related. Like, it almost seems like a waste. Like, The Little Mermaid, as much as you can say it's not like the original story, it has enough similarities to be like, yeah, that's based on this. But this, besides the snow, there's no similarities. I mean, there's nothing, so I just feel like it was a waste of a really good fairy tale. Because now you can't use it again, because you don't want to do that again, obviously. But I just feel like it was a wasted opportunity in so many ways to have taken more from the actual tale and brought it into this. So while I do definitely enjoy Frozen, I think it was a really fun, engaging movie. I don't think it was brilliant. I don't think that it was like groundbreaking. In fact, I would honestly say that a lot of stuff that they found groundbreaking about this movie has actually been done already in other Disney movies, but it's from movies that don't matter to them, so that they don't care. Because honestly, it does bother me when so many people are talking about how it's so different for sisters to be the focus of this movie, when literally Lilo and Stitch did it. Lilo and Stitch did that thing. Yes, there was an alien in it, but like, the sisterly relationship and the issues of losing your parent and having a sibling that has depression, you know, even the queer metaphor, that's all in Lilo and Stitch. So that's the one thing. It isn't, to me, the hype about it, while I am happy that it's happening and it's doing really, really well, and I hope that it will lead Disney to make even better movies, I also don't feel like it lives up to the hype of what people said completely, but it's still good, still fun, still glad I saw it. Like it better than Tangled and Brave.